London Heathrow, host to 78 million passengers, nearly 500,000 flights, and one very unusual animal reception centre. Animals passing through Heathrow come here to be checked in.
Come on in. Hey guys. I missed you, haven't seen you all day.
Also known as the Ark, it's equipped to welcome almost any species through its doors. From reptiles and livestock to pets and predators, it's up to the Ark to make sure everyone is clear to enter the country.
Full of energy, that's always a good sign.
More than 200,000 animals passed through last year alone, and its dedicated team of over 40 staff are on hand every hour of every day.
Come on, kitty.
That's it.
And are always prepared to expect the unexpected.
See the spines of the teeth.
Today on Animal Airport, 50 falcons are causing a flap. The Ark's unusual residents get some attention.
Don't underestimate the bite of a softshell turtle.
And a cat from Russia causes quite a commotion.
So loud. I'm hearing it now.
As many as 2,000 animals can pass through Heathrow's Animal Reception Centre every week. Most make their way through this animal border control quickly and smoothly. Once their papers are checked and they're given a clear bill of health, they can go on to their next destination. But sometimes, animals arrive here illegally, so they're impounded at the centre until their fate can be decided. Lucky for these long-term lodgers, they're well looked after. Today, on duty with the resident reptiles, is apprentice Callum.
I've always loved snakes. They've always been a passion of mine. So whenever I get to handle a snake or just check up on one, I always jump at the opportunity.
This slippery customer is a rainbow boa that was seized on arrival 5 months ago.
I'm just checking the scales because obviously snakes shed. They can sometimes get irritated on the skin. I'm going to check the bottom side to make sure everything's fine, as they like to tread across some rough terrain sometimes. This one seems absolutely fine and healthy, so I'm going to check on the other one now. I'm just going to check the eyes for any infection or any problems. Looks absolutely fine. Luckily, these guys are very friendly. I've been handling these guys since they got here.
Once the impounded animals pass quarantine, many are rehomed, but some take up permanent residence at the centre to help train staff to handle tricky creatures.
They like the heat of the arms, so when they find a nice hot spot, they like to stay there and just warm up a little bit, which is always nice for them. A little bit of pampering. But this guy here is now just enjoying hanging out. I understand when something with fangs is close up to you, you can get a little bit wary. But they've been on this planet a long time. We should appreciate them more and not be scared of them like some people are.
And the boa isn't the only illegal animal that's currently lodging at the centre. For Callum, there's plenty more to check. As the reptile residents continue to kick back in their living quarters, new arrivals are constantly checking in. And in the loading bay, Animal Health Officer Lisa has just arrived with a large shipment of falcons.
They are girl falcons and they've come from the Emirates, I believe Dubai.
Falconry is hugely popular in the Middle East, and the centre often handle birds of prey as they're transported to and from the region. This lot are on their way to Scotland to be part of a breeding programme.
There is 25 boxes and 50 birds, and they've all got hoods on, as far as I can see.
Hoods are essential to keep the birds calm during travel, especially when their journey has taken more than 7 hours.
I wonder why I pay for the gym sometimes. It's just a lot. Usually we only get like maybe 5 boxes. That's it. All offloaded.
For such a large shipment of falcons, Duty manager Ross is called in to take charge.
Hello Doug, it's only Ross. Just let you know, I can, whenever, whoever's checking the birds, I'm ready whenever they are. The week had slowly been progressing. We had a shipment of 12, then we had a shipment of 16, and then Tristan said, oh, you've got a fun morning tomorrow, Ross. I said, what's that then? He said, oh, we've got a shipment of 50. I was like, what? And he said, yeah, a shipment of 50 birds. We have to check the identity of each bird by checking the ring.
Staff must find the rings on the bird's talons before they can be allowed into the country. Each one should have an ID number confirming that they're properly vaccinated.
So what we do is we'll go over now, the birds will be in isolation. We're not so concerned about the birds escaping, obviously we'll do it within a controlled environment, but for us it will just be, personal safety really. The birds have got those really strong, powerful talons.
As well as 50 pairs of talons, Ross will also have to watch out for diseases that birds can carry, such as bird flu or avian TB.
They are in the quarantine side of the building, so there's a lot of airborne zoonotic diseases you can get through birds from like feather dust and faecal dust, etc. So we'll be wearing masks, obviously thick gloves to protect ourselves from the talons, and obviously our gowns as well. So I think what we'll do is wheel them into that room and check them one box at a time, then bring them back. Because there's not enough room for me to work safely in there as well. But obviously it's important we do it in a room that's got adequate ventilation as well. It needs to have the air extract with filters and that so we can do it safely. So what I'll do is I'll call up one of the supervisors now and see if they can send over somebody to give me a hand. Because obviously logistically I can't do it on my own.
Apprentice Callum is busy checking on the animals that have been seized by customs after attempting to enter the UK illegally. They're living here until their future is decided. Next on the list are the spiny softshell turtles.
So my guess is they're all going to be under this log here or under that log there. So let's have a look under this one first, see what we've got. There we go, there's a few. This one, and a little fella. These guys are extremely cute and extremely strange. They got these little pig noses here, nice little paws here.
Their unusual snouts and pancake-like shells make them hugely popular as pets.
I think someone thought they could bring them into the country and sell them, but they didn't have the paperwork to support it. So I'm about the paperwork to support it and all the legal rights and documents there. We unfortunately have to take them and house them here until we decide what to do with them. But as far as my job goes, I'm just here to look after them and make sure they're healthy and happy.
Although these ones are only babies, the turtles can do serious damage to each other. So it's important to check on them every day.
The problem we have with these guys is they like to nip each other in sometimes a playful way and sometimes a dominance way. This is my space, stay away from me. This guy here, his shell, has a little bit of a, you see the little nip just there? Which is a common thing, it happens in the wild as well, but it's just important to check that there's no infections building up around it. These guys actually, for their size, have a very strong bite. Oh, yeah, don't underestimate the bite of a soft-shell turtle because it will give you quite a nasty nip.
Turtles checked, Callum moves on to one of the longest-standing residents at the centre. But unlike her roommates, she wasn't seized by customs. She was donated to the Ark to help staff learn how to handle reptiles.
Here we have the bearded dragon, female bearded dragon.
In fact, their gentle nature makes them one of the most popular lizards to be kept as pets in the UK.
I've actually just noticed that she's got a bit of dry skin going around her eye, more than usual for a bearded dragon, so I'm just going to take her out and actually have a look at that, make sure she's okay. She's got a little bit of dry skin here coming off and a little bit around her eye. Just over here, turn it around so you can see. Which is normal for reptiles, which is normal, but you know, shedding skin is quite a long process for reptiles and can sometimes lead to some infection and some nasty cases. So I'll write it down, I'll keep everyone informed about that.
Beardies, as they're known to fans, are only found in the wild in the deserts of Australia.
She gets a little bit of specialist treatment now and then. We like to give her nice warm baths and things like that. So she's definitely enjoying her style of life now, which is always good. A very pampered bearded dragon we have here. I think she just wants to get back to laying in her UV light. so all is well. And that's pretty much my day. So a good day for me, a good day for me.
Reptiles are the most popular pet to arrive at the centre, but it also gets its fair share of cats too, with more than 5,000 checking in last year alone. Next in is Cosmo, an oriental short-hair kitten named for his cosmic-looking eyes.
All the way from Russia.
Today, Erin, another apprentice, is helping out in the cat wing.
It's so random, so we could just get like one cat a day and then like all of a sudden we get, for instance, 17 cats that we've got today, and it's just so unpredictable.
Orientals are a breed known for their chatty nature. And until Cosmo is processed and meets his new owner in the waiting room, he's going to make himself heard.
Sometimes it's really hard to tell, but I'm not sure whether that box is too small, so we have to wait, maybe get him out and then see. You need to be able to stand up comfortably, turn around comfortably, lie down comfortably, so you have to have specific measurements based on the size of the animal. So if it's too small, then it can limit the animal's movement. So it's not very comfortable for them. Say if they're like in the box for 24 hours, it's not fun for them to not be able to stand up or turn around or lie down. So.
So loud. Hear him in there.
Even out of his box, Cosmo is still in a chatty mood.
Just being a bit dramatic, I think, at the moment. So he should calm down in about 10 minutes or so. That's a bit dramatic.
But at least Cosmo is travelling in style.
Like a little cardigan to keep him warm. You'd be surprised how many animals we get that wear clothes. Like they'll come with like bomber jackets, and they'll come with socks on, and they've got like bows in their hair, and like people really love dressing up their animals, especially the little ones. The little ones always come with outfits.
Time to do the checks on Cosmo's box to make sure it meets the regulations.
Yeah, so we'll measure the box and then measure the cat. So the box has got to be the same height or just above the height of the animal.
But Erin won't be doing any measuring if Cosmo doesn't quieten down.
Hopefully he'll calm down a little bit.
In the Animal Reception Centre's bird wing, Deputy Manager Ross is checking 50 falcons that have stopped at Heathrow on their way from Dubai to Scotland.
Right, so we just have a little look at the boxes.
Animals not only need enough room in their containers, the team also have to check the condition of the boxes to make sure they're safe for the people that handle them, as well as the birds.
I've never seen them in metal crates like this before. I'm slightly concerned that this mesh, you can see it's not quite as sturdy as we like. They've popped some of the holes out, or popped out all the holes. These guys have got really sharp talons, so when the box needs to be constructed in such a means that the sharp talons can't come out, and also for the bird's safety, if they could possibly look at that, get their head out or get their feet out, there could be a risk from there as well.
When containers aren't fit for travel, the team have to take action.
We had 5,000 black-headed cake, small little parrot species. When they arrived here, the boxes weren't complying with legislation. For that reason, the airline has to get new ones made. So we had to release them all in the bird wing. It was like something from that horror film, The Birds. It was insane. We must have been there for about 3 hours catching out these birds. The boxes are not really correct for travel. They've made an effort, you can see, but they just haven't quite met the requirements of the live animal regulation. It's not a huge welfare issue, but there is sort of a safety issue there, so we'll let the agent know. We'll pass it on to the shipper in the Middle East, and they'll know for next time to make the modification.
As the Falcons won't be travelling by plane again, this time the boxes will be allowed to continue overland to their final destination. For Ross, the magnitude of what's ahead is just dawning.
It's going to be a long job. Just realised it's going to be a long one. It's not going to be a quickie.
He's going to have his work cut out to get through all these birds. 50 falcons may seem a handful, but sometimes just the one animal can prove a challenge. Apprentice Erin has enlisted the help of Animal Health Officer Vicky to check the size of the container Cosmo the cat arrived in from Russia.
Length and 2.5 I would have said.
So 25.5?
Yeah, 25, yeah. The regulations are such that the animal needs to be able to stand up and not hit their head when they're standing up. It needs to just be comfortable for the animal to be able to move around within the box.
Hi, there, kitten. Hi. Hey. Come on now, should we find a dry spot? Here we good? Hi. Oh, that's okay, that's Erin.
Yeah, let's try and get her.
This is the problem with measuring cats. They just go into their own little ball. It can be really hard to judge the accurate height of them when
Yeah, nice rubbing.
all they want is fusses.
I know,
Yeah.
huh?
Can you put your head up, please? Pussies? I'm seeing about 35 at the ears.
This is definitely an easier cat to measure than some.
So the height was 32.5 and he's 35.
The box is just a couple of centimetres smaller than Cosmo. It's a tough call.
So we'll take it to management, and if they deem it as bad enough, we will come back and take some pictures. But by the looks of it, it'll probably get deemed as borderline, so we'll just advise the owner and maybe send a letter to the airline.
The duty manager signs the box off, and Cosmo is free to go and meet his new owner, Joy, for the very first time.
The Siamese cat. Here we go.
And it seems like a perfect match. For the first time since being at the Ark, Cosmo's gone quiet.
I've seen photos and videos of him and I just fell in love with his face. He's 5 months. He's still a kitten, so he's a big boy, isn't he? He is. Bye, thank you for everything. Thank you.
"50 falcons stopping off en route to Scotland need to have their IDs checked. Centre Deputy Manager Ross has called for reinforcement from one of the vets.
I'll literally restrain the bird. Morena has got all the ring numbers and she will check those against the paperwork, and if they're all correct, be fine. The most dangerous part of the majority of birds of prey is the talons. So their beak's not the dangerous part, it's the talons. They've got hoods on which keeps them calm and generally, but they still, they've still got their reaction with their talons.
Unluckily for the team, the rings with the bird's ID numbers showing if they're disease-free are on the talons.
Yep. Ready? So the jesses are over the rings, aren't they? That's a pain. When you're holding the birds on the glove, you have the jesses that you hold. So sometimes the jesses can cover the ring. So Morena has to use that technical piece of kit, a biro, to move the jessie out of the way. Obviously other brands are available. It doesn't have to be a bic. Oh, he's a big bird. I don't know, I'm struggling to see the end in sight already, Moreno. The little ticks are not making me feel better.
With so many birds to check in, it's a great opportunity for intern Dan to get some hands-on experience with some flighty falcons.
You want to go, Danny boy?
Yeah.
Right.
They may be fierce, but they still need to be handled with care.
Most importantly, right, it's just the wings. They're the most fragile part that you can hurt. If you've got the bird pointing away from you, let his little talons can go mad. It's not going to hurt anyone, it's fine. There isn't a textbook that you can pull off the shelf to become an animal attendant at the animal reception centre. It don't exist. So one of the only ways you'll build up the knowledge for this job is just to go and do it. Got him? Yep, well done, Dan. So turn around somewhere and I can get the rings. Obviously you need to remember when you're holding it not to get too close to her face because he will like lash out. And I'll cross your hands here, push him towards me. Hold his head down. Oh, textbook, Dan, textbook. We haven't even done half. Yeah.
Even seasoned bird handler Ross can occasionally get it wrong.
You can do it in a secure environment, let the birds settle down, they've got the hood on so it gives you a chance to go back and grab them again. It's like you're having a little wrestling match. He sits there with his wings open, like waiting for him to close.
Two hours later.
50 for the final bird. Get it? That's fine. No, it's fine, it's fine. All done. Whew. Time for a coffee, I reckon. Thanks for your help, Claire. Yeah, so all gone really well. All birds managed to confirm the correct microchip numbers for all the birds. So the state vets have got everything they need. That allows them to process the paperwork accordingly. And once they've done that, the animals will be able to clear through customs and the importer will come and pick them up from us. Dan did really well. He said, did it like a pro. That is a really good learning opportunity for staff.
Time for that coffee and a well-earned break. The 50 falcons continued safely to their breeding destination up north. Cosmo is settling happily and vocally into his new home with joy. And the resident reptiles are continuing life in their comfortable home.